Hey guys, MC Stu here. Today I'm going to talk about free-to-play accounts. I had gotten a comment on one of the videos that I had up asking whether or not Star Trek Online free-to-play model was viable, worth it. And so I thought I would just make a quick video just kind of discussing my thoughts on that. I'm going to start off by saying that it's definitely worth playing even at the free-to-play level. And so let's talk about that. If you compare it to games like SOTOR and things like that, or even like Warships with the premium time, you can still play those games, you can still enjoy them, and you can progress through the games. Warships more so, I think, than SOTOR. It's just pay to progress a little bit faster. And I guess that's kind of the nature of all of these models to a certain degree. I feel like SOTOR is a lot more restrictive in terms of, the in-game currencies and, the way the mail works and, different things like that. With Star Trek Online, there is nothing that you can't grind out and earn in-game that you could buy with money, other than the lifetime subscription. And the lifetime subscription isn't going to make or break your gameplay. I don't even have it on my main paid account. I do have the sub program that it was a monthly subscription that's grandfathered in, and it's still not even maxed out at 1,000 days. I should probably cancel that and just buy the lifetime, but in any case, that's another video. So I'm on my free-to-play account now, and I just want to kind of show off essentially the progress I've been able to make in just over a year. Some of the just kind of tips and tricks. There's already videos out there on grinding EC and Tour of the Galaxy and dilithium grinding, those kinds of things. We all have to do that regardless of whether or not you spend money on the game or you don't. I will say right off the bat, the spending money portion, if you don't spend money, the biggest drawback at the end of the day is going to be ship traits. Some of that is going to depend, whether it's important to you or not is going to depend on how you're playing the game. If you're role playing, if you're just going through, the stories, just enjoying that part of it, and you're not real competitive in terms of, the DPS chase, which at some point, if you play the game long enough, you end up there regardless. And it's a lot of fun, as long as you're doing it right. And when I say doing it right, I mean, being nice to others, not shaming, and, it's supposed to be fun, not just some crazy grind. So in any case, I don't want to get sidetracked. So ship traits are probably the most powerful thing in the game. If you're new or are considering playing, ship traits, starship traits are here, and they give different kinds of abilities. Some are very worthwhile, like this particular one. Others are not worth much, in my opinion. A lot of that also depends on how you build. But in any case, without having some of these higher-end traits that come from paid-for ships, it can make it hard to get to the real high-end DPS. And so let me caveat that. They run events where you can get tier 6 tokens, where essentially you get a free tier 6 ship out of the store, anyone you want to pick, unless it's just a brand new release. And so over the course of some time, you can still get paid tier 6 ships by just playing the game and playing the events. You can grind out dilithium and exchange it for Zen. Zen is the currency that's used in the Z store. You can grind out the dilithium and switch that out for Zen. Getting enough and grinding enough to get ships, in my opinion, makes the game unfun. It's just the exchange rate and the amount is just too much. I know people that have multiple characters, and they have basically dill farming characters, and they're able to grind out tons, and that's great, and they got a good system, and I'm not knocking that. It's just not for me. So I'm just going to talk about a little bit about this account that I have. This is my second account, my free-to-play account. I've had it for just over a year or so, and I am having a lot of fun with it. It was a little tough at first, coming from my main account, which obviously I have spent money on. And all the ship traits and things like that I have on that account, not having them to start with. So I'll just kind of go over. I have basically two main toons. One's fairly new and has progressed very quickly. I'll jump over to that in a moment and show you. This is my main toon, science character. None of that's real important, but the two main things that I focused on when I started this account is grinding out enough dilithium to get the EC cap. So you're capped at how much EC that you can have at a time. I don't have much right now, so I really can't demonstrate that. I got 2 million on this guy. So I have 2 million, and without the cap, it makes it hard to be able to purchase, items that are basically over. I think the cap's 8 or 10 million, something like that. And when you increase the cap, it's 2 billion. So it sounds like a lot. 2 billion is a lot, but there's, things that you can buy that are 12 and 13 million, which you can grind out very easily, to buy off the exchange, that are extremely helpful. So that was the first thing that I did, is I ground out enough dilithium to exchange, for Zen, and I'll just show that here. So right now, this current exchange rate is almost 500 dilithium for 1 Zen. The second thing that I did is I ground out enough to unlock the shared bank slots, so that other characters, we could pass things around between ourselves. Being able to have the ability to do those two things opens up a whole lot in the way of being able to play multiple toons, have fun, go through their storylines, but be able to share in the resources that you're having in order to progress, the different characters. You can pool those resources together. That took me... I want to say that the exchange rate was a little bit better then. I want to say that took me about 2 months. There was a couple events that went through that dropped a good amount of dilithium. That speed is going to depend on how many characters you want to play. For that purpose, I had ran 3 characters and just played, daily enough to get enough dilithium to refine the maximum in order to get that done. And it took me just under 2 months to do that. Right now, at the current rate, with one character, it'd take you about 3 months if you're refining the 8,000 maximum every day, which isn't real hard. You can earn that amount. It's about an hour and a half worth of play. Or, if you play, say, maybe more so just on the weekends or a couple days a week, you could build up enough dilithium to where you could still just log in and do the refining, your daily amount that you can refine here. So once you have that, then you come, here, you do the exchange, you get your Zen, and then you'll go into your services, and they're going to be listed here. So bank slots, those are additional bank slots. EC caps at the bottom. It doesn't show the price because I've already gotten it. That's kind of the main thing to unlock, where someone that's going to spend money, they could just pay for that up front and get it. If you don't want to spend the money, or you can't spend the money, that's easily obtainable without it being, by just playing the game and having fun. It's a matter of just saving those resources, not spending them on other things, which you will need to at some point, to progress through the game, gear and things like that, your dilithium with your fleet gear and stuff like that. You just have to prioritize. So really the difference is pay to get stuff faster. Other than that barrier, it's just a time factor. So you can get every single thing in this game without spending $1. It's just a matter of time that you put into the game and how disciplined you are with saving your resources and using them on the priorities first, if you will. One thing I will show you that was helpful to me when I found out how to do it is, let's say you start an account and you play, you're playing through the story, you're having a good time, you're liking the game, you want to invest a little more time and effort into it. You create a second toon, and now you both are refining, earning dilithium, which you get just from playing the game, and you're refining the 8,000 each, and you want it all on one character. There's not a purposeful way they have in the game for transferring dilithium from one character to another. It doesn't matter. There's no unlock. There's no nothing. There's no shared bank for this resource here. And so the way that you can do that is you can go to exchange, and let's say I want to transfer 10,000 over to another character. The going rate right now is at 493 for 1 Zen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to the minimum, which is 25. And then I'm going to say I want to do 10,000. 2, 3, and okay, 10,000. So what this means is that I'm putting up an offer. So this is a person right here, and they're saying they have this much Zen and they're willing to sell each one of these Zen for this amount. So if you wanted to buy all of this, it would be this number times this number here, and you'll see that just went down because someone bought some of it. So I'm going to put an offer up for 10,000. Let's see, let's buy. So yeah, so I want to buy. So I'm essentially selling dilithium. So I'm basically selling 10,000 dilithium, and I want to get from that 1 Zen per. So at 25 each, that would be 400 Zen. So I'm going to list this to sell. So again, the main points are: be on the buy Zen tab. You want to fill in the lowest amount you can, which is the 25 dilithium per Zen, and then how much dilithium you're wanting to move to the other character. And I'm going to submit that, and that's going to put it up. So let's go ahead and do that. So that is up, and here is my listing. It's up for sale. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over to one of my other characters here. I have a few on here, but I'm only playing, you can't see it all because I have a stretch screen, but I'm only playing 2 of them. The rest were for like extra bank storage, and when I was grinding out some dilithium to unlock some of this stuff. Let's jump over to wood. This is my main tactical character. But the second one I put the most time into, he's about 6 months old, and he's progressing pretty damn good, and I'm not even putting a ton of time into him. Anyways, okay, so now that we're over here, I'm going to go back to that same screen, and just so we're clear on how to get there, you're opening your inventory, you go to assets, and then down here in exchange. So now we can see, here's that listing I put up on the other character, and if I hit cancel, that moves that into this. This is a shared stored area where I can claim it here to withdraw that money back out, or I can claim it somewhere else. And this number's higher because it looks like I actually already had some sitting in here I forgot about. If that amount wasn't there when I canceled that offer, it would have been just the 10, and then I could hit withdraw, and then he would have that dilithium. And I remember at one point I was thinking, well, what if somebody buys that listing when I'm, trying to make this transfer and I lose that dilithium? Well, shit, if somebody buys that, that's great. That's 400 Zen that I got at an exchange rate of 25 instead of almost 500. So if somebody does go ahead and buy that, you're doing real good. That's never happened to me. That's not a concern. That would actually be a good thing. So that's how you can move the dilithium around between characters like that. That's something that we do on paid accounts, or and there's not a paid account. I mean, there's an account you have spent money on, and there's an account that you don't. So that's just how you move it around. I know that's somewhat off subject, but I think that's kind of an important thing to make sure that someone that is going to play for free understands how to do, because basically this dilithium can equal Zen that you can purchase, and Zen is the currency that you would buy with real money. Like, for my kids, I buy them V-Bucks, for fucking Fortnite. Basically this is the V-Bucks of Star Trek. I'm sorry to make that comparison, but that's just what comes to mind. So this is my other main toon. Let's see what build we have on him at the moment. I'm just going to show kind of what I've put together. I mean, there's a lot of Lobby gear that I have. Fleet stuff. I mean, this guy's doing 150 DPS, 1,000 DPS on, the main parse maps, the ISA. And he's 6 months old. I don't have tons of credits. Generally, they get spent as I'm earning them. If there's something I need, I just kind of grind out for it. And again, there's other videos that'll show how to do that. But I have good gear. I have decent ships. Let's see what I have unlocked on him. So some of these are event ships that I've gotten. So these are all tier 6 event ships that I've unlocked. They gave this one away, and they gave away some upgrades for it. I used the ship upgrade that I had won from a stream on it as well. But and these are account unlocks. So I was just on the ship on the other account, or the other toon, and I used an X upgrade on that other toon, and that's account wide. So if you have this ship on any other character in your account, or claim it on any other character in your account, it'll transfer those upgrades over, which is really, really nice. Didn't have to pay for that or anything. That just is built into the game. So I'm kind of just trying to show off what I have. I mean, it's not like all the best stuff in the world, but I have Lobby ships, quite a few tier 6 ships. There's a couple I have unclaimed that I've been able to earn. And, the reason I'm showing that is I'm trying to illustrate that you do not need to spend $1 in this game in order to have a good time. If you are going to spend any money, the first 2 things I would buy is what I stated in the beginning, which would be the shared bank and the EC cap. It raises the EC cap. It's about $20 you'll spend on that. And then, you can grind out the rest. It's totally viable to play this game for free, have a good time, and be able to obtain pretty much anything that anybody else could that is spending money. Again, you're spending money to get stuff faster is really the bottom line. So I'm sure I'm missing some stuff on that, but I think I made the point. The answer is yes. It is more than a viable game to play on the completely free level. And I encourage you to do so if you're considering doing it. It's a lot of fun, and not going to run into any kind of barriers at this point. The game's been out for a long time. I doubt any of that's going to change. There's no sneaky, oh shit, I can't do that because I have to pay for X. There's none of that in this game. So I hope that was helpful for anybody that had that question. If you have any questions, comments, go ahead and throw them down there in the section below. I encourage you to check me out on Twitch. I stream there on Fridays and Tuesdays. And that is MCStew2001 is my handle there. Come check me out. I'll have a link down in the description as well. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. And until next time, stay safe and have a good one.